Hey, what's up? This is Odolena from Odolena Digital. Welcome to my channel and be sure to subscribe if you're new here. I post a video every week, every Sunday. I aim to do this on topics which are interesting to me, things that I've learned from books and things that I'm reading. So today I want to talk about the topic of procrastination, which I think is a very hot topic for many of us. I don't think that there is any person in the world who has not experienced procrastination. And there are different theories and different mechanisms which lead us to experiencing procrastination. So today I'm going to talk about a few techniques which I have learned and a few thoughts on the mechanisms of procrastination. Why is it happening and how we can deal with it in order to continue with our lives. So one of the biggest challenge when you have some kind of goals, like it's important for you to have goals in life, and sometimes you want to achieve something big. And when you want to achieve something big, most of the time, 99% of the cases, you need to work over it over a consistent period of time. It just does not happen overnight, actually 100% of the cases. And what happens usually is you start with great motivation. Let's say you want to write a book, you want to exercise every day and get like a really fit body. You want to run a marathon. You want to kind of nail a project that you're working at your job or a startup that you're building. And there's a lot of different projects that you could be working on. But the common denominator is that you have to do something consistently over a long period of time, and it's very likely that your motivation is going to wear off very quickly. You cannot rely simply on motivation. So there are different drivers that get us to fulfill what we have aimed to achieve. But the fact is that majority of people don't fulfill their dreams and don't follow up with what they have promised to do. Gets you to think about the fact that there is something which is bothering us and which is hindering us from achieving these goals. And procrastination comes on the way, especially when we don't have clarity. I think especially when you have very big goals, it's very important for you to break them down into small achievable tasks. Kind of, let's say, I'm going to bring this product to a minimum viable product. I'm going to get it to 3 people to sign up and test it, instead of I'm going to build a multi-million platform, right? This sounds really crazy. And I don't think that any of the multi-million platforms in the world that have started with the idea that they're gonna be something like this. People start with something small, they want to test it, they want to try it out, and then gradually they kind of build up. So here there is an important technique you have to have in mind, which is called minimum 100% maximum. It's from a Russian coach, which I've been listening to recently. It's called Itzhak Pentisevich. It's all in Russian content. He has really great content. To be honest, I haven't heard anything similar to a lot of English-speaking creators on YouTube. But he has this principle, minimum 100% maximum, which means exactly, let's say you want to acquire a new skill, you want to learn a language. In the beginning, you're super motivated, you really want to do it, you study, and then you get to a certain level. Let's say you improved a little bit, and then you burned out, but then you feel that you no longer want to do this. But this is the moment where you have actually started getting some momentum, and what you usually do, you drop it out. And then motivation comes back again, so you continue doing it. And that's the problem there. When you break this cycle, when you stop doing the thing that made you successful, your level, especially if it's a new skill, goes back to pretty much to level 0. So when you start again, it's even more demotivating because you have to start from the beginning. It feels like you've wasted all this time where you were practicing before and you don't remember anything anymore. So what he suggests is that you have to do a minimum. Even if you don't feel like doing something, you do a small minimum every single day until your motivation gets back. And actually what is funny is when you commit yourself to do something small every day, you end up doing actually very often, unless there is a reason for it, maybe you're not feeling well physically or something like this, or you're traveling, etc. there is a reason that somehow when you do something for 5 minutes a day, or commit yourself to do something for 5 or for 10 minutes a day, you end up doing a little bit more. It gets interesting and exciting for you. Let's say you don't feel like going for a 1 hour run, right? Who wants to go for a 1 hour run? It's very rare that you have this motivation that you're gonna do 1 hour straight away. So instead of that, you say, I'm gonna run for 10 minutes. And then you run 10 minutes and like, oh, actually I'm feeling quite energized now, and the weather is good. I'm gonna do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And now it is with the, instead of 0, because otherwise if you would have said like, oh, 1 hour is too much, I don't have time, I'm gonna skip the day, so you have a 0. So instead of 0, you go to minimum, which was the 10 minutes, and very often you go above the minimum, so you actually continue your progress this way. And here there is a very interesting mechanics, which brings me to another point, is the principle of inside outside. This comes from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you read this book, you're probably familiar, but I recommend you to reread such books, because you easily forget what was inside. And there you have this principle where you have to first keep promises to yourself before you are able to keep promises to others. So if you're notoriously known for breaking your promises, this is affecting you mentally, and of course this is affecting the attitudes of others towards you. Whether this is on your job, with your friends, with your family, breaking up promises is not good. And you don't feel well about yourself, others don't feel well about you, and it all starts with promises that you make to yourself. So let's say you make a promise for yourself to do something minimum every single day. Once you kind of build up this discipline and the action is so small that you kind of repeatedly do it every single day, you start trusting yourself more. And you start expanding, and you start get the energy to do more things and to maybe do a little bit longer. It's just this magic that becomes that you start trusting yourself. And when you trust yourself to do things for yourself, you end up also fulfilling your promises which you've done to others. So this is a very interesting mechanism, but it also gets you out of this procrastination state, just committing to very, very small steps and keeping your promises. What also helps a lot, this I learned from kaizen. If you haven't watched my video on kaizen, you can watch it here. This is a Japanese philosophy, which is again like that. You kind of go ahead one small step at a time. And something very helpful is before you go to bed is first switch off all social media, maybe read something, commit to doing something good and positive for you. And one of these positive things is just writing down very, very detailed plan for the day tomorrow. And yeah, this means I'm gonna wake up at this time, this is what I'm gonna have for breakfast, this is how much I'm gonna work out, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna wear. If you're going out for work, put down what you're gonna wear so you don't feel stressed in the morning and you don't end up doing random things. And you end up sticking up with what you have planned on the day. This also builds up this kind of self-trust and self-worth that helps you fight procrastination, because you have a clear idea what you're gonna do. And there you can attack the day without thinking too much. Otherwise, it's always you wake up and there is so many things that you can do, especially if it's a weekend. And you can go for sport, you can do housekeeping, there is like tons of things, like friends are calling, this is happening, that's happening, and you lose track of what you actually wanted to do. So when you write a plan, you have exactly idea what you are going to achieve this weekend, this week, this month, and this helps you first put your mind at ease, so you sleep better. It's a one benefit, and second, you have a more structured day. And it's funny thing that even if you don't keep up with 100% of your plan, maybe I've never kept with 100% of my plan, but I end up, when I write it down the night before, I end up doing 80 to 90% of the plan. It's just like when I look at it the next evening, it's like, oh, this I've done, this I've done, this I've done. Oh, wow. I ended up doing a much more productive and more efficient day than otherwise. Another very quick technique is actually just keeping your energy high. So I think like one of the reasons why high performance in general is related a lot to exercise and physical activity is because you need to have, again, like to meet these big goals, you need to have energy to sustain yourself over the time. And physical energy is extremely important for everything that we do in life. For example, now some of you notice that I'm expecting a baby, and it's very difficult to keep your physical energy in check. It is very, very tempting to lay down and to relax, but you know that physical activity is extremely beneficial for you. So again, we're using these little tricks, writing down a plan, minimum 100%, maximum, small actions every day. I get myself to do some exercises, some swimming, some commitment to myself, a meditation every single day. And the results are fantastic. You have much more energy than you ever thought. Like comparing to other people in the same situation, I feel very, very energized. And I think that that's one of the reasons. Of course, depends from person to person, like there's physical issues, etc. But physical activity in general helps your mental activity to flow, and it helps you to just drive through all these things that you have to do and to fight procrastination, because you have energy. When you procrastinate, you usually what? You're low energy, you're laying down, you're scrolling social media. So the moment you catch yourself in this state and it's difficult for you to get out of it, one other trick is just to quickly count 1, 2, 3 and stand up. And you say to yourself, at 3 I'm going to stand up, 1, 2, 3 I'm going to stand up, and you stand up. And what this makes is that it gets you to snap out of this laziness, of this moment, and it kind of shakes you up. You look from a different angle, like just even changing the angle, how you see the room, how you see your phone. It's like, why I'm laying, like look at this room, it's so messy. Why I'm laying down, why I'm looking at this phone, what I'm trying to do, when I have so many important things I have written down in my daily plan to achieve today. So this can help you out. And of course, the more clarity you have about what you want to do, the less procrastinating you're gonna be doing. If you are writing a dissertation, make sure that you write down 100 words a day, the minimum 100%, maximum. And you do this every single day, and some days you're gonna work a little bit longer, some days you might not feel well or are exhausted, it doesn't work, brain block, you don't do much, but you feel out, you write your 100 words, and guarantee this works. So these are my tips for you. I hope these help you out. I've cited several different books here, but you can watch some of my other videos which can help you out on these topics. I'll put some links below. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with a new video next week.